Welcome back, friends. Today I'm going to make a greeting card from a painting that I did just a little bit ago. And these cards are really easy to make. They're on a canvas like type material. And this painting is in acrylic and oil both, with a little bit of pen and ink added at the end. They're quick, they're easy, they make great gifts, and it makes a great practice for our painting skills. If we do it on a daily basis, we have a lot of cards and we get a lot of practice. So let's get started. For those of you that are not adept at drawing horses, I'll leave a link below that you can download and print this drawing, then trace it onto your own material. I'll just speed this up for you just a little bit here. I thought I'd start this little piece today in acrylic. This is lemon yellow, light red, raw sienna or yellow ochre, ultramarine blue. This here is a violet. It looks black, but it is a violet color. And this isn't like watercolor, even though it's water base. This is fairly opaque, even though I'm using a little bit of a transparency here because it's so thin. We can paint white over the top like we can in oil, so we don't have to worry too much about leaving any white spots like we would in watercolor. Don't worry about staying in the lines. We don't want to make it look like a child's coloring book. And again, we're going to put oil over the top of this, so we don't want to worry too much. We just want to get kind of some undercolor, if you will. Make it interesting, just adding a little bit of blue here. A little white. And a little blue. Yeah, white horse, you know, will always reflect some of the sky color. So we'll put the white parts of this horse, some of them in here. Let's see, what other? And this horse here, again, we'll put a little bluish in there. Again, we're not trying to make a masterpiece. We're just trying to practice our painting today. And we'll touch it up maybe where we have to. It's nice about having all these horses all together is that we can draw all kinds of legs. Doesn't matter. Now as the sky comes down, it gets lighter. So if I just went into the blue again, I want to start up above and then bring it down. And we're not going to try to be too careful. That always gets us in trouble when we try to be too careful. Just again, we don't want to worry about covering anything up. Okay, we'll put maybe a few darks in here now. And again, we're going to make our darks with violet, deep red, around the mane, ears. Again, don't worry too much about the lines, the colors. We'll touch it all up with some oil later. Again, we're not doing a masterpiece. We're just having fun. Strengthen some of the shadows in this horse in the background, but not much. This just wants to be very vague. This horse in the background here. A little more detail with some darks. Those darks are made with violet, a little bit of yellow ochre, and some blue. A little detail around the faces of the horses. A little bit on the top of the back of the horse. Using white in acrylic is nice because it can go over dark colors. Something you can't do in just plain watercolor. We're kind of painting a little bit like the original. We don't want to copy it, but just use it as a guideline. Make the mane of the horses look like they're flying in the wind. That's done with a dry brush. We try to put as little paint on it as possible and still get paint on the canvas. Now I've switched to oil paint. We can see here that the palette looks different. And this is oil paint, and we're going to just scrub it in with our finger here. We don't want to worry about covering anything up because we'll remove it again. The places that we cover up and we want to keep, we'll remove it with a brush with paint thinner on the brush, just thinner on the brush. Nothing else. You'll see how that works in just a little bit. A little bit of palette knife work here. An effective way to do water is to take your palette knife and just scrape up every color you've used so far in your painting, and then just quickly smear it onto the canvas. Okay, now I take this old cheap old brush here. I think I got it at Walmart. And you just make a real mess out of it here. And we just put it in white. White, a little blue, a little more white. And just splash it up here. Okay, this is where I take a brush with nothing but brush cleaner on it, and I lift the oil paint up off the acrylic paint, just in places. And it just lifts the color back. See those ears coming back? But now they don't look so traced, and they don't look like they were painted around. Now what I'll do, once this oil paint is dry, the material is called Griffin Alkyd. It is an oil paint that dries very quickly. It's got a lot of alkyd base in it, obviously, from the name. And when it dries tomorrow, I'll come back in with just a little ink pen. And of course I'll sign it with the ink pen. But you know, I might add just a little bit of detail with the ink pen just here and there. Multimedia, huh? All right. Well, let's see what it's going to look like. With the border. We'll put some ink on it tomorrow when it dries, and we'll finish it up then. Okay, after the painting is dried, I just want to touch it back up with a little bit of ink, a cheap little ink pen here. So we don't want to outline the whole thing, then of course it would look like a coloring book. Just some lines here and there. But we want to make it look real sketchy. So quick lines. And after it's been touched up with a little bit of pen, I sign it, and there it is. Another greeting card. A great gift, even though it's not a masterpiece. People appreciate getting a hand-painted gift, and it's great practice for our painting skills. So thanks for joining me, and we'll catch you on the next one.